Well, here we go again, and it's time for another episode of the Midnight Skeptic. And this is actually Saturday, uh, March 30th. And this is going to be downloaded to KPCA as soon as I do the show. And it'll be broadcast on at 9 o'clock on Sunday, Easter Sunday. Oh boy. Um, God would be proud of me for doing it on Easter Sunday. Um, and it's quite late in the week. Today is Saturday at 7:30, and it's later than I've ever been doing this before. I just been, whoa. Something's going on to where I just don't have the energy to do it. And except today, I feel pretty good. So here goes. Here goes. Shout outs. Shout outs, shout outs, shout outs. Let me. Okay. As always, I will mention Project Censored to lead off my shout outs. And the three dudes that are responsible for Project Censored, Mickey Huff mainly, and his two cohorts, Nolan Higdon and Andy Lee Roth. They're all professors at various colleges. Mickey Huff is a part-time history professor at Diablo Valley College, which is right across the bay from Petaluma over in, I don't know, Pleasanton, I think, or maybe Pleasant Hill. I get those two places mixed up a lot. And, okay, go to their website, projectcensored.org, and order up their latest volume, The State of the Free Press 2024. And every year they come out with one of these things. And if you go to their website, maybe you can sign up for their newsletter. And it's quite an interesting newsletter. They talk about all of the stories that were inadequately covered by the mainstream press or wrongly covered by the mainstream press. Either way, they'll set you right. Okay. Locally, John Crowley at the Aquas Cafe, that's over in the Foundry Wharf area here in Petaluma on H Street. And they have good light fare and beer on tap. And outdoor seating. Summer's coming up, and they have a little, well, not a little, but a patio that kind of surrounds the Aquas Cafe. You can sit out there, and they have umbrellas, and there's an eclectic group of people that always go there, including some nonprofit organizations and art collectives that occasionally meet and have food there and drinks. Speaking of drinks, I think once a month or maybe once every other month, they have a event called Drinks with Shrinks. All of the therapists come out of the woodwork and schmooze and trade, professional secrets, I guess. Okay. Okay, Tom Gaffey at the Phoenix Theater. They have a website where you can find out what the musical groups are coming up that week. The musical groups tend to lean toward grunge, metal, and rock of various kinds. And during the afternoons, it's a hangout for alternative teens, and they have skateboard ramps inside what used to be the seating at the Phoenix Theater. Okay. Rob Tomaszewski, the station manager of KPCA. And let's see. I got to flip my notes back to, because I had expanded my shout outs. Okay, Tom Gaffey, Phoenix Theater. Rabbi Ted Philman, who's retired from B'nai Israel Jewish Center. Art Kuznets, I met him there. Nariman, owner of Zandex Semiconductor, here in Petaluma. He's a frequent listener to this rant. Renee Ho, the founder of APT, Amor para Todos, which is Spanish for love for all. And she founded it in 2019. And they're going to have a contingent in the Butter and Egg Days parade that's coming up. Very soon. It's on a Saturday. April 20th, I think. Okay. And let's see, I mentioned Rob Tomaszewski. Good man, keeps the KPCA radio station going. Tim Conrad, locally, very good photographer. Ralph Scott, who is attempting to bring back the Petaluma Radio Players troupe, and watch this space for updates on that. Okay, Dave and Rosita Takach in Sacramento, Rich and Kathy in Sebastopol. Dennis and Megan in Tiburon, they're over in Fiji right now, partaking of a much delayed honeymoon. They were married March 31st of last year. Okay. Oh, Yvonne and Rick in San Francisco. Stan and Kathy in Pacifica. Aunt Jackie and Samantha and her two daughters, Samantha and Melanie. I'm not sure that Melanie is back here on the West Coast or not. I think she might be in either Tennessee or Kentucky. I don't know. My brother Brandon and Mina in Arizona, and the Snake Lady, Patagonia, Arizona, Karina Hilliard. If you have a snake curled up at a nice warm spot in your kitchen and you live in Patagonia, call Animal Control. Karina will come and get rid of the snake for you guys. In Arkansas, Shannon Reed, she moved a couple of years ago to Arkansas and took up the real estate business, but she is also now practicing massage therapy, which she did out here at the Fairmont Hotel and Spa over in Sonoma. So she's picking up some extra bucks doing massage back in Arkansas. Down in Florida, Nelson and Alice Lydell, and he's a retired United States Public Health Service officer. And is still in Florida, over on the Atlantic side of the state, Amelia Beamer. Check her out on YouTube. Go to Locus magazine, Locus. She tells you what books Locus is going to be reviewing a particular month, and through the three genres of science fiction, horror, and fantasy. Okay. Dr. Dave in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, the world's greatest pulmonary physician. And he's in the art world now. I'm not sure if he's come back from Chicago yet or not, but check out his website, davidrubinpainting.org. I believe it's .org. Okay. He has a very unique take on reality through his paintings and other artwork. And up the East Coast to Long Island, Geraldine Goldfinger. Back on the West Coast, the Sonora Crowd, Robert Finnegan, Bob and Sandy Fisher, and their two brood, Brad and Martha Fisher. Darrell Larson, Judy May, Kathy Francis, Lynn Quayle, John Gleason, and his two daughters. He's up in Twain Harte, which is about a half-hour drive east of Sonora, up Highway 108. And then Tiffany, his two daughters, Tiffany and Jennifer. And then all the way down to Mexico City. Rosamalia Lopez Negrete. She likes to send along on Facebook these fabulous pictures of birds. I'm not sure whether she takes the pictures herself or just somebody else does and she sends them along. But they're fabulously beautiful birds down in Mexico City. Okay, enough of that. On last week's show, after ranting about Christianity infesting our military, I couldn't remember the organization's names that service personnel can turn to in case of Christian coercion to pray or attend religious services. And believe me, there is Christian coercion. I don't know why we really need chaplains in our armed forces. Chaplains should set up their Christian shops off base and allow people, military personnel, to attend their services if they want to. Okay. Well, anyway, there are two organizations that strive to protect military personnel from undue coercion. MAAF, Military Association of Atheists and Freethinkers. And then the second one is MRFF, which stands for Military Religious Freedom Foundation. MAAF was founded in 1998 by Kathleen Johnson. She was a sergeant first class in CID, which is kind of like the military version of the in-service FBI. Oh boy, I should have written down what CID stands for. But they have email discussion groups. And then MRFF was founded in 2005 by United States Air Forceman Mikey Weinstein. Now, I think he was an officer at the military, at the Air Force Academy there in Colorado. I could be wrong, but I think he was an officer, and he's Jewish, and he really resented the fact that he took a lot of heat from the Christians that were infesting the Air Force Academy back there in Colorado. And so he formed MRFF, Military Religious Freedom Foundation. Oh, God. I'm getting a call from Sonora, one of my Sonora crowd, but I'm right in the middle of recording the show, so okay. One uh, one statement that I ran across, and I forget where I ran across it, but I put it out on my Facebook page where I announce, what I'm going to be talking about on my latest rant. And it's on there if you want to check it out. But here it is. The day the child realizes that all adults are imperfect, he becomes an adolescent. The day he forgives them, he becomes an adult. And the day he forgives himself, he becomes wise. And that was written by the poet Alden Nolan, capital Nowlan. Okay. The rise in LGBTQ people, among youth. U.S. adults self-identified as LGBTQ by generation, 2023. Okay, here we go. Generation Z, meaning they're age 11 to 26 now. They were born in 1997 to 2012. Okay, 22.3% identify as some form of LGBTQ. All right. Christians will freak out about that kind of statement and probably deny it. The millennial generation, they are ages 27 through 43 right now. They were born in 1981 to 1996. 9.8% of them identify as some form of LGBTQ. Generation X. They were born from 1965 to 1980. And they are age 58 to 43 right now. God. Shoot. That's my cell phone going off. Sorry. Boomers, baby boomers, that generation was called. 1946 to 1964 they were born. And they are 77 to 59 right now. And 2.3% of them identify as some form of LGBTQ. The silent generation. Now, technically, I'm still in that silent generation. They were born 1945 or earlier. I'm aging myself here, was born in 1943. I'm 80, okay. And the ages within the silent generation are 78 plus. 1.1% of the silent generation identify as some form of LGBTQ. The 7.6% of all U.S. adults identifying as LGBTQ in 2023 is up from 7.2% of the previous year and more than double the 3.5% found in 2012. Within the LGBTQ community, 15.1% identify as lesbians. 18.1% identify as gay. and 57.3% identify as bisexual, and 11.8% identify as transgender. Now, this is within the LGBTQ community, which is just less than 1% of all U.S. adults are transgender. That's all U.S. adults. Less than 1% identify as transgender. Yet that doesn't stop the cruel, hateful Republicans from freaking out and passing all sort of hate-based laws in the various Republican-controlled states just to express their hatred and cruelty toward them. Women are more likely than men to have an LGBTQ identified in the three youngest generations, and 1% of U.S. adults ID as non-binary or genderqueer. Come on, hate-filled and cruel, unaccepting Republicans. You're falling down on your job, which is to pass laws targeting the LGBTQ community. You've got to stop those woke teachers from grooming and indoctrinating our school kids. What kind of God-fearing Christians and orange sociopathic bloat bag worshipping Republicans are you? Do you want to rule this good old US of A or not? Can you imagine the horrible dystopia if the orange sociopathic bloat bag wins the presidency in 2024? I am optimistic, however, about the upcoming November election. I really am. There's 20 to 30% of voters that can't be reached, that are orange sociopathic bloat bag worshippers or deplorables, as Hillary Clinton called them in 2016 election. That's not enough for him to win. But the orange sociopathic bloat bag will claim the election was rigged. Okay, kind of good news. In Arizona, Kari Lake has finally waved the white flag and admitted she has no evidence that the 2022 election for governor of Arizona was stolen. Oh boy, I'm running out of energy really, really fast. I'm going to try to get through these two new segments, and then it'll probably only be a half hour, 40-minute show this time, but it'll be better next week. I promise you. Okay, bad, embarrassing news. Can the orange sociopathic bloat bag embarrass the US of A any more than he already has the last 8 years? He is now hawking Bibles on television. It's not television, I don't think. It's his Truth Social website. The grifting of the rubes continues in MAGA land. The orange sociopathic bloat bag began hawking God Bless the USA Bible for $60. I think $59.99 on his Truth Social. He says it's the King James Version, and it has the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution added in between the covers of this thing he's selling. Supposedly, Lee Greenwood collaborated with the Orange Sociopathic Bloat Bag, and this is kind of a separate thing, but golfers and sports writers all agree that the Orange Sociopathic Bloat Bag cheats at golf. How can American diplomats go to any foreign countries and hold their heads up? Good news. There is a caucus in Congress that supports separation of church and state. The CFC, Congressional Free Thought Caucus. It promotes a secular character of government plus reason and science. Two things that Republicans never will accept: reason and science. In Alabama, of all places, Maryland lands. A Democrat flipped a Republican seat in the Alabama State House. She ran on a women's choice issue, abortion rights, and Tuesday, March 26th, there was a special election, and she won overwhelmingly over her Republican opponent. New topic. A Georgia Republican official who posted false claims that the 2020 election was stolen was found to have voted illegally 9 times. A judge ruled this week. Brian Pritchard, first vice chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, was ordered to pay a $5,000 fine as well as investigative costs and be publicly reprimanded. Those MAGA heads who claim there were problems or irregularities in the 2020 election, who say we need more election integrity poll watchers, it's Republicans that need to be watched. And this is not to mention the villages down in Florida. It's a senior citizen, infested with Republicans. Senior citizen. What do you call them? Just living areas or communities, I guess. Anyway, there were irregularities down at the villages in Florida. Republicans voting 2 or 3 times, and they were caught. Okay, new topic. Robert F. Kennedy's run for the presidency on a third-party ticket is being funded by Republican billionaires in order to siphon votes away from Joe Biden and help the Orange Sociopathic Bloat Bag regain the White House. This is the last segment, and then I will just keep it to a half hour. Okay? Good news. The Montana Supreme Court struck down 4 unconstitutional voting laws passed by the Republicans. The 2021 laws ended same-day voter registration, eliminated the use of student ID cards for voting, banned the distribution of absentee ballots to teenagers who could turn 18 by Election Day, and prohibited third parties from collecting ballots and returning them on behalf of voters. All things that unduly affected the Native American people, voters in reservation areas. Native peoples would be disproportionately negatively affected, the court said. Indigenous groups filed the suit in 2021 and hailed the decision. Okay, I'm going to have to end it real soon, like now. Despite my ranting, I am optimistic about the upcoming 2024 election. As many deplorables as there are in this country, I only think there's maybe about 20 to 25% of them that are so stupid, so hateful, and that they will vote for the orange sociopathic bloat bag no matter what. Having said that, here's my play out music. You have been listening to The Midnight Skeptic on KPCA LP, Petaluma, California. And we're at 103.3 on the FM dial and worldwide at www.kpca.fm. Support community radio at patreon.com/Petaluma Community Access. And remember, think critically, think logically, but live joyously, and most importantly, pet your cats. Okay, I can't stress enough the importance of petting your cats. It's a great stress reliever. And then you could add on sipping a little glass of red wine if you're so inclined. So I will do this Midnight Skeptic rant much better next week. My listeners and YouTubers are just going to have to forgive me for this week. All right. Bye-bye.